Grand Theft Auto 5, a game known for its chaos, its violence, and its strip club. You know I'm right. GTA 5 has been around since 2013, so it's been 7 years since the game originally got released. And to this day it's still relevant and is still being played by a lot of people. And they're still making and adding new features to the game like every 3 months or something. Now GTA 5 has two different modes, GTA 5 Singleplayer and GTA Online. Today I'm gonna focus on the single-player side of things and then single-player mods. But I'll also compare it a bit to GTA Online as to how it fixes issues that online has, like overpriced vehicles or overpriced properties. Let's first start off by looking at the main differences between how GTA's features work on GTA Online and GTA 5 modded singleplayer. So GTA 5 has been getting a lot of updates since day one, and these have definitely changed the game compared to what it used to be. From a rhino tank being probably the most powerful thing in the entire game, to a fucking orbital cannon, jetpacks, and flying cars, and hoverbikes. Yep, but although it's nice to have new stuff, GTA Online has definitely suffered from some of these features. How players just orbital cannon the Baba Booey out of anything, and how players can grab their broomstick and fly off to harass and insta-kill any poor unlucky soul that is cursed by their presence. Cause they actually care about a fucking KD ratio. Thankfully these people are usually under the age of 12. If there are more than 10 people above 16 doing this, I'm not sure if we're gonna make it to the next century. Spoilers, we're not gonna anyway cause global warming. Anyway, despite the Oppressor Mark II doing more bad than good in GTA Online, in GTA 5 single-player mods, or single-player mods as I'm gonna call it from now on, the Oppressor Mark II is amazing, but that's because in single-player mods there are no other people except you. Plus you have hella powers at your hands, like I'd like to see that you're a god on this island and you can do whatever the fuck you want. So to a single-player mods player, this is just another tool to play with instead of something to get killed by. And it's great at that, and making it a fun, and it's great at that, making it a fun of, and it's great at that, making, and it's great at that, making it a lot of fun to use. But what does really suck is that some cars are incredibly expensive. Like fucking World War II inflation is nothing compared to this shit. That's a joke, by the way, please. That's a joke. But yeah, they will take you like 500 years of grinding to get. Or will they? You see, most trainers, but the best with menu, offer the option to save a customized vehicle. So you can do everything you want in terms of customization without having to grind for a decade. But out of cheap. If you can just spawn everything in and customize it, won't the game burn itself out really quickly? Well, if you just do it one by one, probably yeah, in like 5 hours you're done. Daga. If you do something like what I do, just go down the DLCs, not one by one, but just every X amount of days you quote unquote have access to certain content. It can be a lot of fun to play the game like this, or you can make up your own way of doing it. I mean, going through everything one by one is fine as well, no one's stopping you, but I feel making your own rules is probably a better thing to do, since hey, you don't want to have to grind for days and days on end for that one fucking car that looks kinda cool. Well, just set up a rule that you have to complete certain, I don't know, exploration tasks. I know it's kinda gay, the whole make your own rules thing, but who actually cares? You can play this game in whatever way you want to. Although if this is nothing for you, that is of course 100% fine. But this is why I have more than 1,000 hours of just single player mods. And only 20 hours of this is GTA Online, and I'm not joking. And it's not just with vehicles, by the way. I do this with properties, weapons, clothes, but I'll get into that later in the video. Now it's just about the differences with GTA Online. But getting back on the destructive machine stuff, I feel the way something like the Oppressor Mark II is looked at like this by each side. Oh my god, an instant killing machine that requires no effort to blow anything up. Oh my god, an insta-killing machine that requires no effort to blow anything up? Holy shit. But one argument against single-player mods some people would probably say is, but if you're god, doesn't that just take the fun out of it? Well, good point. Being an indestructible god can ruin the fun, cause I highly agree that challenges are definitely what makes a game more enjoyable. But what I like so much about single-player mods with these lovely trainers is you can just make your own rules. You don't want to be an invincible invincible god, fucking go for it. You can just uncheck the feature and boom, still the same risk as before. You make the rules, and that's what I like so much. It's complete sandbox. Or even like, you don't want to turn off the police, but you fucking hate those damn helicopters because they make it so hard to escape. Boom, no helicopters. And if there's anything you really like to see as an option as well, you can just request it with especially menu, but I'm also sure at Trainer 5. They're listening to feedback and usually they'll happily implement it. Like single player mods isn't just boom explosion, boom insta kill, although it can be that, but it can also be used to craft your own experience. So yeah, it can be a lot of fun to have your own type of rules, I would say. Now what is true is that GTA Online has like the Arena Wars, Bunker Series races, although you can download race maps and make your own very easy, but still, it's true that single player mods is still single player. There are some multiplayer mods, but I never dived into that. I feel it's pretty damn difficult to properly do, but I mean, I might be wrong, it would be really nice if I am. But even if you will play both single player mods and GTA Online, I still think it's a nice mix. So the main differences between the two is this one's online, this one isn't. This one handles new features usually better since it only makes stuff more fun. And this one can have the possibility of having new features make the fun suffer since Rockstar doesn't patch that much, which is a shame. And with this one you can make your own rules, and with this one you have to follow certain rules, but you can't play online. So now that we got that out of the way, let's take a look at the two types of ways you can play single player mods. So, although I'm sure everyone plays single player mods differently, you do usually have two types of players. You have people who play it a bit more seriously, aka just going through the features, customizing cars, customizing properties, and then you have the Harbingers of Chaos. With the Harbingers of Chaos, I mean players that shoot adders out of their SMGs, use their tractor to fire off hundreds of RPG missiles, or have a minigun with explosive ammo. First I want to make clear, it's either as okay to play one way as to play the other way. Single player mods is pretty much 100% sandbox, where you have every right in the world to do whatever the fuck you feel like doing. Now if you're a player who just wants to make everything go boom boom, mod trainers can definitely help, since usually, although they offer nice features like customizing vehicles and properties, they also always have a nice catalog of chaotic options which I really like. For example, making you some force using demigod, or even make anything dance with SpongeBob music, which I'm scared of playing cause UMG might harass me. But pretty much every trainer provides some nice bits of chaos, which even more of as a casual player than like chaotic player, I still always love to mess around with every now and then. And then looking at the other type of player, this is by the way where Trainer 5 and Menu shine the most compared to the other trainers, since these give so many nice customization options. One better than the other though in different scenarios, since with Trainer 5 you can only have like 20 custom vehicles max, and you can't group them, which sucks, but with Menu you can have infinite amount of vehicles and you can group them. But with Menu you can't customize a property and then save it, while this is possible in Trainer 5. Plus it gives you extra options. For example, with yachts you can have multiple of them instead of just creating one. So that's why I like to have both of them, just to access everything. Now although if you want to have all the stuff that GTA Online has, and with that I mean being able to bomb or being able to drop mines with gun running and arena war vehicles, then you're gonna have to install some scripts, but this is very easy to do. So now I've discussed how GTA Online and single player mods differ a lot. I've talked about ways people can play single player mods. Well, let's actually get to the more technical side of things. Since single player mods does require some fucking around their files, and if you're not careful enough, you might fuck shit up, corrupting your game and making you have to reinstall it. Although this rarely happens, but still. But isn't single player mods like very hard to use and install properly? I mean, look at all these files and numbers. Ooh. So like I said, single player mods is a bit of folder fuckery, as I'd like to call it. But isn't it very difficult to do all this stuff? No, it actually isn't. It's kind of like editing. It's just, woohoo, look at all these crazy and wacky numbers and colors and pixels. And look, animating effects and whole editing sounds and decibel whatever the fucks. But when you realize that you can use the S key to split footage in Sony Vegas, it's already a lot easier. And what I mean with this is, it looks looks difficult, but when you understand how it works, which isn't some crazy task to do, don't listen to these virgins showing their timeline, cause oh, it looks complicated. They just want attention, since it looks hard to do on the surface, but it's really easy to learn this stuff. I can bet you if you spend 2 to 3 hours watching editing tutorials of Sony Vegas, you pretty much, if you have the right tutorials, have as much knowledge as me. And I'm not saying that like I'm some editing master, but because it really is that simple. The only thing that is difficult with editing is coming up with ideas and trying to make it entertaining and balance stuff out. Editing itself is really easy. The more complicated effects just require some patience, but that's it. And the exact same goes for GTA 5 modding. Yeah, first it's all these files and woohoo, install this and add code line and woo-doo-doo-doo. It looks complicated, but it won't take you long before you understand what you're doing, since the epic adding code line and adding folder is simply just you're adding a new folder containing an add-on vehicle, for example. But GTA 5 uses this DLC list to read what DLCs it should load in, so what you have to do is put the name of the new DLC folder in there and then update it so it can read it, and boom, done. That's it. But what about the corrupting your game? Well, sometimes if you delete or change the wrong stuff, you might get some issues, but usually if you just follow a tutorial, nothing can go wrong. By the way, if you get this error, this means that the main plugin for all the mods, Cryptic5, needs to be updated, so just check this site until it is, okay? No panic, since that error brings a lot of confusion, I feel, or at least it did to me when I first got it. But anyway, I'm not gonna go in depth on how to install mods, there are plenty of good tutorials for that. I just wanted to make clear that modding isn't so difficult as long as you're following what the tutorial guide does in the beginning, it'll be fine, and at some point you're gonna know enough to change the stuff yourself. But now I want to go into a segment that I really like to talk about, and I'm gonna call it quality of life improvements that single player mods can give you, and I'll explain what it means when we get there. So what I mean with this is mods that can make the base game simply better, be it a new vehicle or a mod that changes the graphics to look 1,000 times better. It doesn't even cost more than like 3 to 5 FPS, I never actually measured it, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't really affect your performance. Another example of quality of life improvements is this 4K minimap, where instead of black and white you can actually see the whole map, which I think is 1,000,000,000 times better, cause you'll see special buildings and stuff on this map that lead to places you might have not even known existed. Like how I didn't know there was a single farm here in the mountain, even though I played the game for more than 1,000 hours. You also have scripts that make features a bit better, like using the APC's cannon or missiles while being in the driver's seat, or the exact same with the journal bug, or a script that doesn't just make bombing possible but also an autopilot, just as a neat little feature. There are also mods that can increase your FPS and various other things, but by far the best quality of life improvements have to be the mod trainers, and how to just give you access to all the features like this alien car. I forgot this existed, and probably so did you. So anyway, this is the end of this segment. Yeah, I know it was short, but I mean there wasn't too much to be said about it. Now I'm gonna talk more in depth about something that I have already been talking about quite a bit, and that is mod trainers. And then quickly go through each section of a trainer and then talk about what type of stuff you can find in there. Now, like I've said, I've been talking about mod trainers quite a bit, but in this part I want to look at each individual section and then tell you about what type of options you can usually find in these sections. Now, I will use my favorite mod menu as a reference, since, for example, player or vehicle options are also pretty much always there in other trainers. And for most of the individual options, the same goes for them as well. Now, let's go from top to bottom. Let's first look at player options. But wait, there's a players tab here. Now, you don't see this in single player trainers, but in multiplayer trainers, which, by the way, please only use them to help people and not harass them, because it's really fucking annoying. But yeah, I find it weird that menu has this, since this is a single player trainer, but maybe it used to be a multiplayer menu, since this trainer, like most of them, requires Cryptic5, and if you enter GTA Online with Cryptic5 installed, you will be banned. But this is why it's weird that menu has this, since, for for as far as I know, you can't go online with menu installed, so it's kind of odd. But anyway, player options. So player options consist of usually the basics like being invincible or being invisible, but also mobility mods like super run or super jump are usually there, and sometimes fly mods. And here you can also find the stuff related to cops like never wanted or your wanted level. And here, at least in menu, there's already some sort of customization, but here in terms of outfits. Now when you're playing as Franklin or any of the single player characters, you can still change your outfit, but with director mode there's a trick to get your online character into single player. And how you do this is something that you can just search up on YouTube. If you then save your character as an outfit file, you can later on load it in, and then you have your online character. And with your GTA Online character, you can access all the online customizations for your character and then save it to a file and then make your own outfits pretty much. Now after the player section you have vehicle options, which consist of stuff like having an invincible car, but also more mobility options, and like I previously said, the customizing and saving of vehicles. But here you also have like a speedometer, which is pretty much just your kilometers per hour or miles per hour. And then we have teleport options, which are pretty much just places that you can teleport to, this being online related or just single players. And these are really cool since, well, exactly why we need a Navy DLC. There are a lot of awesome hidden things hidden on the seedbed that can be better explored by these teleport options. And at least in Trainer 5, this is also where you can save your properties. And then we get the weapon options. Here you can give yourself all the weapons that are in the game and turn on stuff like infinite ammo. And here is also where you find options that will allow you to shoot off molotovs or tanks or a lot of other crazy shit. And here you can also customize weapons, and with menu you can save loadouts. Now after that we have weather options, where you can obviously select the height of your character. Nah, that's not true. Here you can select the weather, but also select whether there is snow in your world or not. But at least in menu they should have been called world options, since in menu you can also change the fucking gravity or the height of waves. Then we have time options, which lets you control time but also lock the time to a specific time. And with this you can also stop time. Then we have something that most trainers have, although it's called differently with each individual trainer, and that is a map editor, where you can spawn in objects or pets or vehicles to, well, I guess change the map. You're mostly going to use this to make race maps, I feel, or maybe something different, but with this you can also load in maps. So let's say someone makes a race map, then you can load it in through this, which is always something I like to do every now and then. For the rest there isn't much. I mean, menu has misc options, which are like turn off all the lights or the pre-mentioned SpongeBob stuff, and menu also has the options to customize the menu itself to your liking, which I think is a neat little feature. So now you kind of know what stuff you can expect from a mod trainer and the stuff you can do with them. In conclusion, GTA 5 single player modding is more than explosions and can turn GTA 5 into one of the best sandbox games, since it is just this world where you have all the power and all the control to do whatever you want to do. Now, if you made it this far into the video, then thank you. I really like to make these somewhat longer videos about games I really like, and if you're still here, then it shows me that people can watch or enjoy these type of videos, which is great, cause, well, I'm planning on doing a lot more of them. But anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, I would appreciate it if you could like the video. Wait, no, that's not how you're supposed to do it. Guys, smash like, smash subscribe. Can we hit 400 million likes, guys? I think we can reach it by the end of this month. Enjoy my free gift card giveaway that I'm never going to do.